1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Joining me today is Jeremy Donovan, sports anchor at Fox 40 in Binghamton. Jeremy, you were at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony yesterday. How was it? What are your impressions, and who impressed you?
Oh, it was a great time. I went up last year as well. Long days for sure, as you know, each player, and last year all three managers as well, with a lot of people to thank, and that can take a while over the course of a 20-something year career, but it was really nice to see, Craig Biggio kind of wearing his heart on his sleeve, talking about his parents who aren't with us anymore. Randy Johnson was pretty funny, talking about just his height, which is always good for a laugh. John Smoltz had a couple of good moments. He put on a wig to kind of throw it back at Maddox and Glavin, who made fun of him going bald last year. But then, of course, the highlight of the day was Pedro Martinez, who, as a Mets fan, watching him come to the Mets in 2005 kind of brought excitement and energy to a team, and he was just, the ultimate professional on the mound, but just a goofball off the mound. And seeing as how he's been off the mound for 6 years, that's the Pedro that showed up yesterday. It took him about probably five minutes or so after receiving his plaque to actually begin his speech, because all of the fans from the Dominican that came up to see his induction were chanting for him and banging on the drums and the cowbells, and he was just up there dancing for about 5 minutes. And it was real. I thought it was a great moment for him, for the country, as he's only the second member or second Dominican native to go into the Hall of Fame, and the first in 34 years. So he did half of his speech in Spanish so that he could thank them properly and tell them what they mean to him, and vice versa. And at the end, he brought up Juan Marichal, to the other Dominican, to go into the Hall of Fame to take a picture holding the Dominican flag and get his proper cheers, since when he went in, travel wasn't exactly as possible for most of the country to go up to Cooperstown.
Great moment for the Mets, as you alluded to, with Pedro's induction to the Hall of Fame yesterday. The Mets brought up Michael Conforto on the weekend, had 4 hits on Saturday night against the Dodgers, and a rare rout win for the Mets. You saw a lot of Conforto this year in Binghamton. Tell us what kind of player we're going to see here in Queens for the rest of the year.
I hope he plays the way he's been playing. He's a great player. He's an even better kid. He's a really nice kid. Always, make sure to say hi to you and see how things are going for you, just as much as you're interested to see how things are going for him. He's excited to just play the game every day, and he's exciting to watch. I got a kick out of, as Keith Hernandez did for anybody who watched the game, I got a kick out of the Dodgers overshifting him. He is a lefty bat, but I think he's, from what I've seen, his power is to right field, but his best average hits, his doubles hits and everything, I've seen him go left center more often than I've seen him go to right, it seems. I think his first 2 home runs were to left center field. So as the Dodgers were overshifting him, I just got a kick out of that. Like I said, I hope he continues to do this all season long. I'm just worried, at 22 years old, that they might have rushed him. I want him to prove me wrong, because, as I said, he's a great kid, and I want to see him do the best. But if he's going to be the long-term solution in left field for the Mets, I just hope that he does better than hitting, 210, because that could very well affect his confidence.
The Mets go out, they get Juan Uribe, they get Kelly Johnson on the weekend, they bring up Conforto, Henry Mejia comes back from his 50-game suspension, they're going to get Travis d'Arnaud back. Are those the only moves the Mets really have to make in terms is bringing up Conforto and then going out to get Uribe and Johnson, who are secondary players? Are those the best moves that the Mets can make? Are you looking for them to do more at the deadline?
Largely unsure. I mean, obviously, since growing up as a Mets fan, you always want to see bigger names come to your team, but at what cost? You know, deadline deals are always kind of scary, as Mets fans will tell you, since losing Scott Kazmir back in '04. At the time, almost losing Lashings Millage for Manny Ramirez, which in hindsight would have been a good move. But, you know, you don't... Sandy Alderson has already said that, you know, Steven Matz, Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, Matt Harvey are all untouchable, which is, you know, understandable. You don't want to sacrifice what could be the best pitching staff in years, the best young pitching staff in years to try and win now with a guy like Troy Tulowitzki, who you may not re-sign in the offseason. But, you know, it would be nice with a team that's struggling and second to last in the league in runs to pick up another bat to try and help that out. But then again, since acquiring Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe, they're 2-0, and one of those was a 15-2 win. So, you know, maybe they go out today or tomorrow. I'm not even sure if they're playing today, but you know, if they go out today or tomorrow and they win, maybe you just kind of sit back and see if anything relatively cheap in terms of prospects that would cost you materializes, and maybe you pull the trigger, maybe you don't.
Reports had it that the talks between the Mets and the Padres for Justin Upton stalled. Justin Upton would be a pure rental player. Would you trade a guy like Zach Wheeler, who's team controllable, who's going to come back next year, presumably more healthy than ever after Tommy John surgery, and could be the fifth piece to that great rotation? Would you trade him for a rental player?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm biased, having seen all of these guys come through Binghamton. I don't like when they get rid of guys that I've seen play, most of the guys at least. And I keep saying, you know, I work with a couple other Mets fans at our station, and I keep saying I want 1 or 2, 2 or 3 full years of a Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom, Zach Wheeler, Noah Syndergaard, and Steven Matz rotation, because they wouldn't lose a game, assuming that they can score runs. But you know, that pitching staff to me just has so much promise that, you know, even if you get rid of one of them for, you know, and keep John Neese or whatever, they're still going to be good. But, you know, I wouldn't get rid of an arm that you gave up a guy like Carlos Beltran for just to get a guy you're going to have for 2 months. I personally don't think it's worth it, but, you know, then again, I'm kind of one of those guys that sees more, one of the fans at least, that sees more of the big picture, and if winning a couple of, you know, making a couple of playoff runs in the next 2 or 3 years means more than maybe making a run this year and then missing out the next couple.
Jeremy Donovan, Fox 40 in Binghamton, was at the Hall of Fame inductions this weekend. Everything, he's got everything when it comes to the Mets and talking about Michael Conforto. Jeremy, thanks for talking to us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Of course. Thank you very much.